Hello everyone, I'm Michelle Smith and welcome to my channel. I have a Dollar Tree DIY for you today. In today's crafting adventure, we're going to be making this absolutely gorgeous coastal clothespin wreath. All of the materials except for the paint and the sun came from Dollar Tree. The paint and the sun came from Walmart. Here's a list of the tools and materials I used to complete the project. For your convenience, I've also included a detailed list in the description box below. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, you're going to need a 14-inch wreath from the Dollar Tree, and you're also going to need 3 packages of the Essentials clothespins. You get 36 in a pack, and it took 90 clothespins for me to complete the wreath, so you will need 3 packages. You're also going to need some paint. I'm using apple barrel paint, which I picked up from Walmart, and I'm using the color khaki, and then also white. So to get started, you're going to want to go ahead and attach your clothespins onto your wreath. It's up to you if you wish to paint your clothespins before you put them on your wreath, or you can paint them after you put them on. So how I'm going to be attaching them is just on these 2 bars. So I have it clipped right on, and then you push it as close to the crossbar as you can. And then I just line them up. So you'll still see this ring in the middle after you get the clothespins on, but that's okay. Once the wreath is complete, you won't see that. This way, all of your clothespins are nice and close, and it makes it much easier to paint and to create your design. You're going to want to cut your wreath in half, paint the bottom khaki, and then paint the top half in white. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. You're also going to need a set of the stove covers, and you'll want to take the largest one of the 2 and spray paint it white. The spray paint that I used today is Rust-Oleum American Accents Ultra Coverage in white matte. If you don't have spray paint, you can always paint this with just your white acrylic paint. I just prefer to spray paint first on metal. It seems to adhere better, and then I don't have any issues when I put more paint on top. You're also going to need one of these little suns. I picked this up at Walmart, and it was 97 cents. I'm going to go ahead and dress this up a little bit and add some of my own paint to it so it doesn't look store-bought. So I pulled out some apple barrel in jack-o'-lantern, in pale daffodil, bright red, and king's gold. Now I just want to dress this up a little bit. I don't want it to look, like it's store-bought. This will add a little bit more dimension to it. So I'm just going to start with the bright red. I'm going to go in and just kind of go in some circles. Add a little bit of the pumpkin, some of the gold. And just keep going in and kind of swirling around. I want to get lots of different colors folded into that sun. just so that it has a little bit more character to it. So I'm just going back and forth and layering the colors and swirling as I'm going to moving them around. You want to keep that kind of circular pattern. And then here on the yellow part, I'll take the darker yellow and just go in and add a little bit. The goal is just to give it a little bit more character and look a little bit more custom. Now it's completely up to you. If you like the sun just the way it is, that's fine. You can use it just the way it is. That's the one thing about crafts. You can make them however you want. You can use whatever colors you need to suit your style. I just wanted to show you how just using a little bit of paint can really add a lot to this. Make it look really pretty, a little bit more custom. And not quite so perfect. Okay, doesn't that look better? So go ahead and dress up your sun and then set that aside to dry. So I have my base on, I have my khaki and my white. Now through my white you can see a little bit of color coming through because I'm reusing some clothespins. I had tried to dye some of the clothespins and it didn't come out the color I wanted, so I'm reusing them. Then you want to take your little center here. This is going to go right in the middle, and it fits right on that inner ring. Then you're going to want to go ahead and take a ruler once you have it placed, and you want to mark where your horizon line is. And that's the break between where your sky is and where your ground is. And then just take a pencil and draw a light line so that you know where it is. Okay, now I've pulled out some more colors. I have 2 blue, Caribbean, sky blue, Admiral blue, and Laguna. Okay, so these are all the colors I'm going to be working with. And so I'm going to do my water first. So I'm going to start with the darkest blue. And I'm going to work from my horizon line down. Now when you look at the ocean and you look out, the further out it is, the darker the color of the water is. The closer it comes to shore, the lighter it appears, and the more clear it appears. So that's why we're going to start with the darkest color out at the horizon line. Now that line is just for you to follow. It doesn't have to be perfect. Water is not perfect, so when you look at it, it's not a straight line. That's just so that you can follow it. once you get your line down, you go through, bring it down a little bit. Now I'm going to go down here on the sides, just in case you can see any of that once it's in there. Same thing on the other side. Okay, and then as you work your way down, go ahead and add in some of the lighter colors. And you want to just keep going because it works much better to blend your colors as you are working your way down. If you wait and it dries too much, it's much more difficult to blend your colors and to make things look like they're supposed to. Okay, so as I'm working my way forward, I'm moving from the darker blue to a lighter blue to kind of a greenish blue to more of this nice bright Caribbean blue. Just remember to get the edges. You want to make sure you keep your streaks going back and forth from side to side because they do show in the paint. Okay, so you see you have a nice gradient coming down. You have a nice dark blue horizon line. And then you fade into more of a lighter blue, and then you start getting into the aqua and down into the Caribbean. Okay, I'm really happy with that. So now I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to work on the sky. And I'm going to lay down a little bit more white paint right next to the water here. Just to help me clean that up a little bit. Okay, Now I'm going to hit just a little bit of that daffodil yellow. Put that down and mix that in a little bit with the white. My bigger brush, a little bit more white. I'm using the white because it'll get the paint nice and wet and make it much easier for me to blend it, because I don't want to use a whole lot of paint up in the sky area. Now this is sky blue that I'm just starting to lay down. And see, straight sky blue would be too dark. That's not what I want. I don't want anything quite that dark. So mixing it with the white right on the surface works perfectly. Now I also want to add just a little orange in there. Maybe just a hint of a little red. Go back, get a little bit of the white, and then go back. And then back to the blue. So just add a little bit and work as you go, however you want your colors to get mixed in. But I'm looking for a really pretty sky. I want nice color. Inch, just in case. Now, if you're not used to blending paints like this, you might want to take a piece of cardboard or something and practice a little bit before you work right on your project. That way you can get a little bit of a better feel as to what it feels like and how to work with the paint. Because each paint is a little bit different. Some are easier to blend than others. And there you go. So I'm very happy with that. So I'm going to set this aside and let that dry. Okay, so this is all nice and dry. So we're going to go ahead and attach some pipe cleaners. You need 2 pipe cleaners and you need to cut them in half. And then you want to place 1 pipe cleaner right here where the horizon line is, 1 on either side. Just put a little dollop of glue down there and then stick your pipe cleaner in it. I always like to put another dollop on top. You want to do this on the 4 points. This is what's going to attach it to the wreath. Okay, you want to let that fully dry before we attach it. Once the glue is dry, go ahead and place it in the center of your wreath and turn it over. Now where the horizon line is, we have the 2 crossbars. So you want to attach it there at the crossbar. Just wrap your pipe cleaner around and twist. And same thing on the other side. And you want to just double check and make sure that your horizon line is correct. Now the reason why you want to attach it here at the two crossbars so that it does not slide around. The other two just need to be wrapped around the bar. They don't have to be at a crossbar. Okay, and then just go ahead and trim off any excess pipe cleaner and push down those ends. Okay, now we're going to finish doing the painting. And now I'm going to take the sky and stretch it into here. Down here we have our water and we have our sand. And then this all needs to kind of blend together. So now I'm going to pull those colors, and I will probably go over this again. And you just keep working on it till you get it to how you like it. And just remember, it is paint. If you get too much of one color, just go back over it with the white, soften it, or even paint it white again and start over. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work on this and get it until how I like it. And then I'm going to let it dry, and then we'll be back. So while the paint is drying, you're going to need one of the chalkboard tags. I've chosen this shape. You can use whatever shape you want. We're going to make a little sign. So I went ahead and created it on my computer. I went to canva.com. You can use their system. They allow you to use it for free to make a lot of different things. So I was able to make this for free. And then I downloaded it and printed it in Word. So I will have the link to Canva in the description box below. So just go ahead and cut it out. I measured my little piece and then I sized this just slightly larger. So this is my little tag. I went ahead and painted the base kind of a beige color, something that was close to the sign, because this one has lots of little dips and this won't completely cover every single one. So anything that the sign doesn't cover, I still wanted it to blend in. Okay. So then I'm just going to use some matte Mod Podge to attach this to the sign. And just put a nice light even coat. And just knead it enough so that the paper will stick. The paper's not very thick. It's just regular printing paper, so I don't want too much on here. Otherwise I'll get a lot of ripples and stuff. So just enough to get it sticky so that it can stick. And just lay it over and rub it down. Now I'm going to let it completely dry before I attempt to trim out the paper. Okay? Once your little sign is all dry, you can go ahead and use an X-Acto knife or a utility knife. Turn it over and cut on a safe cutting surface. And just trace it out. You don't have to press hard because you're just cutting through paper. Just make sure everything's cut before you pull so you don't tear it. And then if you have any rough spots, you can use a little bit of sandpaper, just kind of drag down and away. And run it right around the edge. Just in case there's a little excess that didn't come off. Now, doesn't that look cute? It says, "Welcome to Lover's Cove." So my paint is all dry. Now you're going to need a package of the wooden stems, or you can go in your backyard and cut some. And you will need 3 to 4 for each side of the wreath. You want to just make sure they're close to the same size and the same height. And you're also going to need some jute cord. Okay, so what you want to do with these is about a 1/2 inch down or so, put a little dab of hot glue. Go ahead and add some jute cord and wrap it around about 4 or 5 times. Secure it down. And then trim off the excess. Okay, so it should look like that. Okay, so go ahead and take your jute. You're going to attach it again. Make sure it's nice and secure. Go ahead and wrap around like 1 or 2 more times. So that way the rope is attached. Now here where the horizon is, the bottom of my post is going to start on my 3rd one down of the sand, okay? And if you have any sharp nub or anything, you want to put it here in the center. And then just go ahead and run some hot glue. Pull your rope to the side. Make sure you're in the right position. And attach your wood. Then you're going to go ahead with your next one. You're going to move it over a little bit. You're going to grab that twine and wrap it around. Hit it with just a little dab of hot glue so it stays on there. Okay. And then glue that one down. And then just keep going till you get all 4 on there. And then trim off any excess. And that's what it should look like. You want to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, my fence is attached on both sides. And now I'm going to go ahead and attach the sun. I want to put it right up here. I'm just going to attach it with some hot glue. gonna let that dry. Now on my little sign here, I'm gonna go ahead and attach a craft stick to the back because I want it to look like it's stuck in the sand. And I think I want it kind of sticking out a little bit, like that. So I'm actually going to be attaching it in between the two onto the underside. So I'm going to attach it in here, okay? You just want to hold it in place till it sets. Okay, looking so cute so far. So now I need to put something down here so that these look like they're in the ground. So I have one of these onion grass, and I'm just going to take some of the little tops here and trim them off because I want to add a little bit of grass. I'm going to take a couple pieces, pull them together. Add a little bit of hot glue with them pulled together. And I'm going to go in here and place some in between. The posts. Okay, so you get a little bit of greenery. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to both sides. So I went ahead and added some moss to make these look like they're in the ground and added some stones. Now I've pulled out an assortment of shells, small shells that I've had. Now the majority of these I got at the Dollar Tree. Some I picked up on the beach myself. And a few of these might have come from a package that I got at Walmart. So I'm just going to go ahead and place the shells wherever I think they look good. Yeah, I have some really cute sand dollars that I found on the beach. I'm going to add a couple of those. I have some really pretty small snail shells. These came from the Dollar Tree in one of these little things. You want to check these because these tend to come filled with different types of shells. So they usually have about 3 or 4 different kinds in these little jars. So you want to make sure you check those out. Okay, so I'm just going to go through and add in some more shells. So I'm happy with that. I added a few more shells. And now I want to add a little bit of, I have some gypso and just a little bit of, this is called Queen Anne's lace. And I picked these because the blooms look nice and small. And I'm just going to add a little bit of this into the moss. Just add a little bit of hot glue on the end there. And then go ahead and stick it down into where the moss is, wherever you want it. Just felt like it needed a little something else growing along the fence line there. That added quite a bit. Then you're also going to need a package of the DIY stickers. And this was in the summer section. And this one has the little trees and then the little flip-flops and some pineapple there. So I pulled out 2 pairs of the flip-flops. Now they do come with a little sticky guy on the back. I usually take that off and then just hot glue it down because I don't know how well those are going to work long term. But I thought these were absolutely adorable and would be perfect for this wreath. And I'm going to do 2 pairs since this is Lover's Cove. So you know there are 2 people down there at the cove. So I've decided I'm going to paint in a sailboat and add a few birds because I feel like the center still needs something. So I pulled out some more paint. I pulled out a little bit more of the True Blue, some Nutmeg Brown, some Burnt Umber, and Pavement. And Pavement is not quite black, it's a very dark gray. So I have a small detail brush that I'm going to use, and the first thing I'm going to put in are the birds. So to do my birds, I do your simple, kind of like a loose M. It's open. And then I go back and add just a little bit to the center. And those are my birds. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and put a boat in. A little sailboat. Now I'm not putting it on the horizon line. That would not look right. You need to bring it down into the water. And I want it to look like it's kind of going that direction. So I have the shape of my boat. Now remember, it's in the water, so part of it you can't see. It's under the water. I'm just going to add a little bit of highlight on that by placing a little bit of a lighter brown. And now I'm going to put the sails. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and work on this a little bit more, and then when I'm all done, I'll come back and show you the final product. Okay, I'm all done. I did go ahead and add a whale tail, and then I added a little bit down here so it looked like the waves were coming in. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed today's craft. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up. It really does help out my channel. Thanks again for stopping by. It's always a pleasure to see you. I hope you and your family are all staying happy, healthy, and strong. You have a great day, and I will catch you next time.